In 1977, Pelé named his autobiography, My Life and the Beautiful Game. Arsene Wenger once said that football is an art like dancing is an art. Only when it's well done does it truly become an art.
In that position, I just have to smash it.
But wait, hang on a second. What's that? Is that Mikel Arteta reading Tony Pulis's handbook to advanced acts of terror?
I would like to be a terrorist.
This season we have seen the ugly, and the ugly in the Premier League. With goals on the decrease, but set-piece goals and long balls on the rise, is football in England becoming less beautiful? Oh yeah, Liverpool aren't winning, and now suddenly it's the entire league's fault. You know what? It is. No, I'm joking. It's our fault. We are bad. Like, that's like a completely separate issue. And that might make life even more shocking for me, because when we hit 800,000 subscribers on this channel, I'll be getting a Liverpool tattoo on my dislodged knee. And if that happens before the real-life football video goes out, then I'll get IRL tattooed on my forehead. Now, about a week ago, a graphic that Sky Sports showed during a match involving Arsenal went viral on social media. And it showed Arsenal's goals breakdown in the Premier League this season. Now, these stats aren't accurate by a couple games anymore, but at the time, they'd scored 9 set-piece goals, 2 penalties, and only 5 from open play. That put them first on the rankings in terms of set-piece goals, joint first on penalties, and only 17th on open play strikes, meaning their percentage of goals from set pieces was at a massive 56%. Over half of their goals that they'd scored in the Premier League up to that point had come from corner kicks or free kicks. Unsurprisingly, putting them first on that Premier League rank as well. Now, before Arsenal fans go absolutely, I know what you lot are like. Don't worry, I'm not going to just be talking about Arsenal. This is about the Premier League as a whole, even though Mikel Arteta may well have links to Al-Qaeda at this point. But it really highlighted a massive issue across the Prem. One widely reported change is the increase in long throw-ins this year. A throwback to the likes of Rory Delap at the Britannia Stadium on a cold, rainy Wednesday evening. 26% of all throw-ins now in the Premier League are long throw-ins. One pioneer of that has been Michael Coyote over at Brentford, the right back who's able to projectile a ball into the area, like not looping either. It's a straight javelin at lightning speed. Opposition defenders terrified when this man javelins a Jabulani into the area at 86 miles per hour. Missiles heading over any stadium in North London are just him practicing his throw-ins from somewhere in Luton into the G-Tech Stadium. The streets are saying he's been setting off speed cameras like in the local area just with his throw-ins. And it's not just him. Crystal Palace have been making the most of it as well. They scored one against Liverpool right at the death with Eddie Nketiah after Jefferson Lerma launched one into the box. Brentford and Palace's kitmen respectively are going to be soon realising they've got a much bigger task when their washing load increases by another 47 towels. Alexander Isak's busy training his triceps so that he can have something to do within this Liverpool squad at the moment. Meanwhile, for me, actually, I think the most depressing fact about all of this entire new trend, is that we've literally got a Rory Delap spawn in the league and he can't take long throws. That is a disgrace to Liam Delap's lineage. Fair to say Rory was struggling trying to teach him to knuckleball with his own hands whilst Liam was still in nursery.
Alright, cool, go. Broski!
At this point, if you want to be a wing-back, you've got to be able to chuck this ball far. It's basically an extra corner at this rate, and youth coaches will be chucking youngsters out of their squads if they don't have arms built like Adama Traore at the age of 9. Set-piece goals, in terms of their percentage, are massively on the rise. No doubt, of course, thanks to Declan Rice's wand of a right foot, which has been causing and wreaking havoc for all Premier League defences, basically across the entire season so far, and it was pretty similar last year too. Opposition defenders may as well sack it all off when Declan steps up to take a free kick.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. I give up.
Now, this video is probably going out on the weekend. I'm recording it before the weekend. So for me, the most recent game week was just after Halloween. And during that game week, there weren't a crazy amount of set-piece goals. I mean, Arsenal scored one. Shock. Amad Diallo's feels a little bit unfair, but it was from a set piece, even though it was an incredible finish against Forest. Their second of that game, actually. There was another set piece goal scored by the Red Devils in that one. Meanwhile, we saw a long throw own goal come in Palace's game against Brentford. That would be Crystal Palace's third long throw goal of the season so far, and we're only 10 games in. So let's look in a bit more detail in terms of the stats of where these goals are coming, because as I said, Mickey van der Ven scoring a brace from corners and headers to become Tottenham's highest goal scorer in all competitions competitions across this season isn't much of a surprise because of the eye test, but it's actually backed up by the statistics as well. The current Premier League season is seeing the highest share of corner goals in Premier League history. Currently sat at 18.7%, so almost a fifth of goals that are happening right now in the Premier League are coming directly from corners. That's 45 from a total of 241 up to the point at which the BBC had written this article. That is almost a fifth of goals are coming from corners alone. That's before we even talk about other set pieces like free kicks and long throw-ins, and of course also penalties as well. From a wider perspective, the actual percentage of set piece goals right now in the Premier League is sat at 27.8%, which is over a quarter. So 1 in 4 goals over that are from set pieces at the moment. That's in comparison to the average over the last 10 years, which is under 22%. And as I mentioned, this is the highest share of corner goals in Premier League history by over 4.5%. That compared to 2010-2011, then 1994-95, and 22-23, which were all sat at around about 14%, not almost 19%. Yes, Arsenal have scored the most goals from corners of any team in Europe's top 5 leagues since the start of the 23-24 season, that being 37. Next best is Borussia Mönchengladbach on 26, but they are quite evidently not the only cause of set-piece goals here, because the stats indicate that it's the entire league as well. But if we just look at Arsenal specifically, in their first 10 games, as I said, as I'm recording this video, that might have changed by the time this video is coming out, but they have only scored 6 open play goals. 6 open play goals in 10 games, and they're top of the league. And the crazy thing is, these guys deserve to be top of the league. They've conceded like 1 shot on target from their last 4 games in the Prem. That's a joke. Defensively, they're an absolute force of nature. But going forward, whilst they can play beautiful football if they want to, the most effective thing for them to do is just put the ball in the area and just utilize their really tall players. It's not beautiful, it's not sexy, but it's efficient and it's working. And the best team in the country right now are just scoring bare set pieces. That is bonkers. That's absolutely unheard of levels of haram. We've got Tony Pulis commending Mikel Arteta for his use of set pieces. This is where we are as a society right now. But one might think, yeah, that because set piece goals are on the way up, it means the goals are on the way up as well. You'd be wrong. The game isn't even becoming more exciting because of the fact that we're getting more set piece goals. We're just getting a higher percentage of those. Goals in the league this season are actually significantly rarer than they have been over previous campaigns. When we're looking at goals per game, I mean, like a couple of years ago, we were looking at almost 3.3 goals per game at this point in the season, whereas now we're looking at like 2.6. That's the lowest average in over 10 years when it was sat at 2.57. And yes, we've had lower seasons than that. Into the late 2000s, we were getting less goals per game than that, and also in the late 90s as well, but not by much. I mean, I'm looking at the peaks here of this graph. I would say there's probably 5 seasons, maybe 6 seasons in Premier League history that have a lower goal scoring rate than right now, and it's a dramatic fall off from the last couple of seasons too, which were extremely free-flowing and fun. And not just in terms of goal scoring, in terms of overall passages of play, we're not getting as much quality there either. Well, certainly we're not getting as much quantity. The amount of passes that are being made in games has taken a sharp decrease as well. We're down to like just above 850 at the moment, which is still quite a lot when you compare that to the likes of the mid to late 2000s, where long ball was very much favoured at that point. We hadn't seen the emergence of tiki-taka, like spreading through world football, but this is the lowest that it's been since like what, 2010-11? That's a long time. We're getting the least amount of passes and like short, like nice passages of play in 15 years. That's because long balls are on the up. The amount of time the ball is in the air is on the up. The amount of long goal kicks being taken has increased exponentially as well. At a time, you know, a couple of years ago where everyone was trying to play out from the back, we're seeing the ball being launched long a lot more. We are one Sam Allardyce appointment away from heading directly back into 2005. He's eyeing up the Premier League at this point with a rock on. This league at the moment is ketamine for Sean Dyche. He's actually probably going to succeed at Nottingham Forest. This is his jurisdiction.
Get in there!
Conversely, someone like Ronaldinho, for example, is probably watching the Premier League happen right now through the prism of, I imagine, like 12 Brazilian supermodels BBLs somewhere in a mansion, and thinking, what has happened to Jogo Benito? Pep Guardiola's in tears. His entire dynasty's falling apart in front of his very eyes. If Arsenal win the league, their set set-piece coach is getting a statue before any of the players. I'll tell you that right now. They need to have him front and center at the trophy parade. Or maybe in the corner. Actually, that might be more fitting. Fuck it. Should we just go all the way back like Brian Barkley's men? Let's get Matty Taylor lumping in a volley from 57 yards. Zoltan Gira for his unlikely tech. Pedro Mendez's shampoo and hair routines. Lee Clattermole. Kevin Davies' big meaty head. And his aerial ability as well. But I'm bringing you all these stats and everything that's like a trend this season. And I'm sure you guys are thinking, well, football was really fun in like the late 2000s and the early 2010s. I just listed off some Barkley's men there that we all look back at, very fondly. We think about these guys from the late 2000s and the early 2010s and think about like Michu and Adel Taarabt. Yeah, cool, there might not have been as many goals as there were like last season, for example, in the Premier League, but these were cult heroes with flamboyant goals being scored. Like, you had long-range bangers going in, free kicks from all over the gaff. Football felt a lot less analytical. It felt a lot less like, we've got to do this, then this, and then we'll score. It was free-flowing. Players actually had minds. They had an increase in technical ability as well. You know, in the mid-2000s, you had the incredible age of people like Deco, Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, Zinedine Zidane, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, like technical footballers that just like didn't give a fuck, bro. And now surely with stats like these, we're returning back to that time. But I don't think we are, and I think that's the problem. Football is still very analytical. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, whilst we're getting a lot of long-range balls and stuff like that, I don't mind that, and I don't mind long throws at all, by the way. I actually quite like long throws. I thought it was fun with Rory Delap. I think it's fun with Coyote now. But it's not actually leading to free-flowing football. Again, it's not like we're getting lots of goals. It's not like nice goals are particularly happening. Like, the percentage of scoring is so low that we'd rather recycle the ball and try and get a tap in instead. That's a higher chance of resulting in a goal. Managers across the league don't want their midfielders trying to score from that range, because as I said, the chances of them scoring from that range are so low. You'd be better off trying to make a higher XG chance happen, or winning a set piece and just scoring a header. So whilst there's nice flashes of like something different, and again, I like that. I love that we have these cycles, almost like fashion, where things in football become fashionable, and then someone works them out, and then they become undesirable, and the next thing takes over. And then in 10, 15 years, we kind of maybe return back to the original cycle. That's all well and good, but I don't think it's actually leading to the greatest football or nice, beautiful goals. I mean, what was the best goal from last week? It was probably Diallo's volley, I guess. Very nice. And we still get lots of nice goals in world football. Had Mickey van der Ven scoring that crazy solo goal. I doubt Thomas Frank told him to do that before kickoff, but it just feels like we're in danger of taking all of the things that happened that were kind of interesting in like 2008, removing a lot of the fun from them, and then just using them because they're efficient this season. And again, I don't want this to feel like, oh, Liverpool aren't winning, so I'm just complaining. I don't want it to feel like Arsenal fans are taking the hit here. Do whatever wins you football matches. Arsenal are very good at set pieces. Why would they not try and score from set pieces? They've got the fucking BFG in every single position on the pitch. They're amazing. Declan Rice's like actual delivery into the box is amazing. So you might as well make the most of it. I just feel sad that all this stuff that we liked from 2009 is, as I said, being distilled and having the fun removed from it. I mean, even long throws, like the stats when it comes to wasted time for long throw-ins is crazy. For Brentford, for example, this season, the average delay before a throw-in is 25 seconds. That is every throw-in. So 4 throw-ins in, we've wasted an entire minute of a game just waiting for Michael Coyote to dry a football. That's not fun. Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that in the game. We can still have long throws, but actually enjoy them, rather than having the life and momentum sucked out of them as well. All in all, whilst I find the fact that we've gone back to this long ball system quite fun, and I do think it can work, like watching long ball football can be entertaining, it's gotta have that spice of unpredictability that we actually had to go along with it in the late 2000s. Otherwise, it's just boring. I need Ricardo Fuller and Cameron Jerome to score volleys in and amongst Rory Delap just chucking the ball into the net from distance. And if we're only gonna have one of those things, I would rather it be the first part. But what do you guys make of the trends of the Premier League this season? Do you like the fact that we're seeing such a resurgence of set pieces and long throws? Do you like the way football is right now? Just let me know down in the comments section. If we can hit 7,000 likes on this video, I'd massively appreciate it. And once again, make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.